I make sure we're recording. Infernal Blessings. Back with another video / podcast. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and run through a couple quick announcements first. First and foremost, if you are interested in signing up for any of the classes that I offer, the best way to get in on the classes, well, the main way, the only way really, is go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, which can be found at patreon.com /Baniti, Baniti, patreon.com /Baniti, Baniti, and tier 3 is the tier you want to go ahead and join. Tier 3. That'll give you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon, and it will give you access to the group ritual we do at the end of every month. Okay? If you are interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, the type of readings I do offer are Clepothic Demonic readings, Santa Muerte readings, shadow work readings, deity readings to see what spirits walk with you, Egyptian oracle readings. For a full list of price list and information on how to book a reading or a consultation, shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com and I will send you that information. Okay. Also, the 6th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference is in full effect. You can sign up and register for that now. You can either sign up to attend in person from October 19th to the 22nd, or you can sign up to attend virtually, which gives you access to the 3 days of classes and workshops and presentations on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. All right, if you need information to sign up for that, shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com. And also keep in mind all of the new content and existing content that you're seeing here on the YouTube is also being uploaded to the official Primordial Chaos podcast page, which can be found on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. Also, the direct link to the podcast, along with the direct link to the Patreon page to sign up for classes, along with my email address. All of that is in the description box of this video. All right, just make sure to double check that thing is recording okay. All right, so I figured I'd do this video on Kali Ma, or Kali, the mother goddess, the black mother goddess, since she's going to be our focus at the end of the month for this month's ritual on Patreon. Kali Ma represents a lot of things. Kali herself is, as you know, a very powerful female demonic archetype one can work with for tremendous growth. Like many other spirits or demons, nothing to take lightly. She is very intense in her change. When you see what she represents, everybody's familiar with, the images of her with the, the scimitar knife, right? The knife of separation. You always see her depicted holding the severed head with the bloody skulls around her neck. You see her with her foot on the chest of Shiva, which represents one of the things it represents to us on the cult. It's a representation. Kali Ma, or the Black Mother Goddess, is another representation in that archetype that all things emerge out of that darkness. That death that Kali Ma represents, that death, is not death just in gloom and doom, or what we know as physical death. That death represents change, because after death and destruction, there's always resurrection and renewal. Now, Kali Ma, just like, for an example, with Set, if you're working with Kali, don't underestimate how rapid she goes to work and brings changes in your life. People tend to do that sometimes. Kali Ma too is one of those particular spirits that if you want to obtain something, be clear how you want to obtain it. So if you feel like you got blockages in your life and you're not specific in your intent to work with her, she will remove everything that is a blockage in your life. And that could be people close to you. That could be, sometimes I've seen people be on a certain career path or job path, and Kali might figure that's not the path for you, right? So that change, she can literally turn your whole world topsy-turvy, upside down. Remember, anything that's, you always need to remember this in working with Kali, anything that's obstructing your path, and I literally mean anything, person, place, or thing, she will cut away and remove. That's what the cutting away, the removal, the death, the severing, all this represents. Okay, remember, Shiva is a chaotic, deity too, a very powerful, intense deity. Shiva is almost what one would say equivalent to the mask of the adversary in the Hindu pantheon. And look how Kali shows her authority over a strong spirit, or god like Shiva, right? It's also a representation of one of them cultures like Egypt, where the female was held in the highest regard. And there's the ultimate respect for Kali, because what Kali is capable of doing, what Kali does achieve for a practitioner, but also what one must note when working with Kali, as I just mentioned, they must be very conscious and aware of how rapid the change can come, and in very intense waves, okay? Now, over the years, we have done a lot of work with Kali down here in South Florida. We've done a lot of ritual work. And the rituals, I remember the first one we did, I think it was 2016. And it was a ritual where we brought the spirit of Kali down. And I remember getting, if you've ever been to a gathering, I remember getting possessed by Kali. And there was knives and whips and all types of shit flying around. To my recollection, to a degree, and from what I was told. And I know when we do the ritual down here, we have this very, very interesting gadget and sword that we use for the ritual. I mean, she comes like she can come like a whirlwind, like a tornado. That's how powerful her energy is. But having said that, though, there's a very beautiful aspect to Kali. Because one thing with a lot of these demonic feminine demons or goddesses, though they have a very turbulent, intense warrior energy, there is this, they always somehow, and I say somehow because a goddess like Kali, who's so intense and raw, right, can also be very motherly like to her, practitioners, those who are trying to connect with her. She has that side where she can instill a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of you. She has that side where she can make you see life in a whole different way. She can make you see things in life that you're not seeing. But one thing, as I said, when you work with a lot of spirits or deities or demons that are connected, to the death cult, which really represents intense change and renewal, there's always a zest and appreciation for life. So contrary to belief, Kali is one of those goddesses that shows you how to really appreciate life. That life is extremely short. That we can't take anything for granted. Sometimes certain people don't see that. And sometimes she has to show the initiate, the practitioner, the devotee, whatever you want to refer to it as, she has to show them life lessons to appreciate that. So I always have to make that clear, because anytime you work with any of these gateway deities that connect you to the spirits of the dead or the afterlife or to some higher level of spiritual transformation, that part is never ever really stressed. the appreciation and the zeal for life. And as I've said before, people that work with necromancy, in my opinion, people that are really connected to the necromancy energy, they always seem to really have an appreciation for life. We hear that cliche all the time, life is short, enjoy it while you can, and all of those things that fall in that line. It's true. It's really just another way of saying the only thing that is real is the now. Kali will connect those moments in time. She will make you see. When you hear me always talking about how all things are connected, she has that ability to bridge worlds, to bring what you are maybe perceiving as different moments in your life separated. She tries to show you how it's all connected, right? How it's all connected in the sense, when you realize that quote-unquote connectedness, you also come to the awareness that whatever it is in those moments, you have the ability to correct or change, right? And as I've said many times before, in all ritual work, working with spirits and demons, there's always some level of shadow work. Uncovering the hidden self and mastering it, improving things about yourself that are weaknesses or that are holding you back. Kali most definitely is in that spectrum of road clearing archetypes or demons. When you got paths blocked, Kali is the one you want to go to. But also keep in mind, Kali, her motherly love is that tough motherly love. I've described this before in the past. Sometimes her way of dealing with her children is, it's like taking a small child and throwing them into water and saying, go ahead, swim. She's not going to give you that, oh, come here, baby, it's all right, and cuddle you and rub your back and make you feel better. No, she's going to give you that tough motherly love, meaning she's going to make you go out there, and do it. She's going to say, here it is, handle it. None of this, pacifying you, or none of this feeling sorry for you, coddling you. That's just not what it is. So it's a tough motherly love. She does have that motherly nature. She does have that, where she can give you that wisdom and that understanding about yourself. But there's some painful lessons too that Kali will uncover, that you'll have to face about yourself. That it's not always going to be pleasant, unfortunately. It's not always going to be something, an easy pill to swallow. Now, to shift a little bit, when you're dealing with Mama Marga or Tantra, is there a connection? Sexual energy, yes. And as I said before, most of these spirits and demons on all of these paths there's always a natural level of sexual alchemy or energy connected to these spirits. So, I can tell you this, though. The sexual energy with Kali is very aggressive. If you like aggressive sex or aggressive sexual energy, it's that, right? Because she can also, like other spirits and demons, feed off of the sex force, especially sexual fluids. They can be used as a serious tool, like with many other spirits. They can be used for ritualistic purposes, right? They can be used to transfer energy, to charge things, right? And this is what, again, makes Kali very, very unique, because she could be used for a multitude of different things. But she's nothing to play with. She's nothing to play with in the sense, don't think it's just, a walk down easy street, because it's not. And be very cautious. For an example, when you're invoking her presence, be very cautious, because sometimes the practitioner underestimates what and how they're inviting her into their life, right? Now, Kali is not one of those where you think you're going to dictate and control certain things as far as in regards to the change. Because again, I want to stress what I said earlier. Once she starts cutting away and destroying and eliminating and annihilating all those things that are holding you back, that must happen, that must be addressed so you can evolve and move forward and grow. Once that process begins, there's no stopping her. Okay? There's no trying to bargain with her, because she does have, like you see her depicted, she does have that taste for blood. And we know the blood represents the life force, right? Which makes blood one of the key reasons why it's a very powerful offering to the spirits. But when she gets that taste and she utilizes her power and energy to destroy and annihilate things that need to be destroyed, it almost feeds her and gives her strength. It makes her insatiable in the sense that you can't really try to stop something that's gotten to a level or a point where it needs to finish the process out. So this is why you can't, I always tell people, when you invoke a demon or a spirit to destroy something, you can't second guess that. You can't go back and go, oh, I don't know if I want to do it like that. Oh, maybe I want to do that, or back off of initially. No, it doesn't work like that with some of these spirits and demons. Once they got the green light and they start the process, in most cases, there's no turning back to prevent that from happening. And if you start to feel guilty or sorry for something or somebody, that's going to do you no justice either. That's just going to eat away at you. So this is why when you're doing works of magic in regards to that, you need to be very conscious and aware of what you're doing. But all in all, Kali has a very beautiful nature to her. When you tap into her totality, one thing I love about her energy is my connection with Kali, obviously, is I can tap into her on a spiritual realm with that very warrior-like, ferocious energy that she carries, which is very ritualistic if you tap into it. But I also can tap into her energy like a son would go to a mother for guidance, right? Even though she's tough to the bone, tough motherly love, she does have compassion for her children, right? She looks out for her children. Her children, I'm talking about, are those that are consistent practitioners in working with her, okay? Now, we refer to her again as the Black Mother Goddess because when you look in other cultures, yes, you can synchronize. There's a lot of other, because what people always do is when they first learn about a deity from one pantheon, isn't that such and such? Wouldn't that be such and such in this pantheon? You got to remember, as these systems got passed down over in time, as I've said many times before, these cultures just changed the names of the people and some things around to suit their language and their culture. And this is why you see a lot of the like people say, isn't Ishtar the same thing as Lilith? I mean, yeah, there's a synchronization there, right? Just using that as an example. Kali can be affiliated with Mama Brigitte and Voodoo or Voudon. I mean, there's many different synchronizations, okay? Synchronizations with Kali, right? And when we refer to her as Kali Ma, the Dark Mother Goddess, Kali Ma, the Dark Mother Goddess, she is also in that pantheon of one of the primordial mothers because of her connection with that primordial chaotic energy. She's one of those spirits or demons that fall in that pantheon. So when you look at her stature, what she's capable of doing, it's very important. Again, you do your due diligence and you're officially 100% aware of how you're connecting with her and gonna bring her into your life. Now, one thing I like to do, just a couple last quick things before we wrap it up. I'm almost at the house, at my destination. I find a suggestion I will throw out there for those to start, but be, again, very cautious and aware. There's a book a few years back put out by Bal Cadman, Kali Mantra Magic, which that book has done wonders for me. There's a lot of simple rituals and mantras that you can use in there, okay, that can open up your psyche to connect with the spirit of Kali, okay? A lot. Now, the book does warn you to be cautious and be careful, because you do have to 100% for sure be aware of how you are going to connect with her energy and what you're opening yourself up to. So I would suggest that. Kali Mantra Magic by Bal Cadman. All right, I got to wrap this up because I'm about to enter a gate here. If you need to reach out to me for a reading, consultation, Journey of the Black Adept Conference, classes, everything is in the description box of the video. That's the way to get at me, and then we'll go from there. All right, infernal blessings, and we'll talk soon.